We are live 364 days a year. What are we doing here?
If Dom turns at SummerSlam, I'm shaving my moustache off. I told you, if that happens, it's going. My lip is cold because of a stupid bet that I made with YouTube.
Oh, good.
Wrestle's better than Daniel Bryan. Bryan Daniels. Better than Okada.
How did not get fishy after Monday Night Raw?
Welcome to Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast, a show where a rotating cast of wrestling fans from around the world come and share and debate their opinions, with live comments from all of you shown throughout, as after all, fans are what makes wrestling so special. So sit back, grab a beverage, and enjoy the show. What is going on, everybody? We are back once again with another edition of Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast. It is Thursday, February the 12th. We're breaking down AEW Dynamite in the words of DCX Warlord. Let's ignite the fuse with this Dynamite review. Yes, no doubt about it. We will for sure. Alex Duffy's already in the comments with hi, what's going on? Chris LeClaire with Thekla. Yes, we're going to get to that. We have all kinds of sweet topics, including pretty much everything big time that happened on Dynamite last night. As you can see on the right side of your screen, let me introduce who we'll be hanging out with today, though. First and foremost, let's keep it on the West Coast, arguably closer to that arena in Ontario than myself from a geographical standpoint, but it's all Elite Mary. How are you? Happy Thursday, my friend.
Oh, man. Happy Thursday. All elite. All elite. Was very sad I had to go be elite at Walmart and not in the Honda Center in Ontario last night, but it don't get much more Dynamite Ignite than Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast. So I'm excited. Let's get into it.
Let's absolutely get into it. And next, I gotta introduce, we can't get our twos up. Shoddy, wish you could have been here, but it's no worries because we have the perfect replacement from the state of Virginia, and that's Aunt You. Good to have you, my friend. Happy Thursday. How you been?
Class is in session. Welcome to the U. Let's go, man. Dynamite review.
Let's get into it. Out of the gates, though, let's talk about something that made the internet go pretty wild last night. There was a lot of upset people when it comes to Tommaso Ciampa dropping the belt back to the proto-star Kyle Fletcher last night. And that was interesting to me because, look, I think in the last 5 years, this has been Ciampa's best televised singles match, and it's really not even close. I think Kyle Fletcher is also the future. He was a bigger star in AEW than Ciampa was in WWE before he came over. Yes, they made Ciampa feel very special upon his debut, but I thought the right decision was made last night, and we got arguably, like I mentioned before, Ciampa's best singles match in quite some time. I don't know, though. There's a lot to unpack here, though. The IWC, our friends in the IWC, a lot were very concerned with Ciampa dropping the belt so quickly. All Elite Mary, as the nickname says. Were you as concerned, or did you enjoy the match as much as I did? Because I thought it was a classic.
I was concerned that much with him losing the belt. I thought, again, it was the right call for a man who's only been in the company for 11 days, y'all. 11 days. He's had a better debut than most of the talent has had since AEW became AEW. That doesn't matter. The loss was taken beautifully and gracefully, and the right winner won for now. Now, will this probably eventually be ran back? I hope so. The match last night, I could have watched it all night. I could have watched it for the rest of the show. Those two were absolutely killing each other. The spots were, it was like, again, seeing Tommaso Ciampa in WWE, the absolute lost momentum that he had from Black and Gold to main roster to the back's whims hell of catering to now in All Elite Wrestling. We're the best wrestle. We finally got to see the true Ciampa that we've missed for so long, and I do not think this loss will ruin his momentum one bit. It will only push him to be loved even more. It would only push him to be missed even more, and for the fans to keep continuing to wanting more.
I love it, Mary, and I'm with you on this because I think we're on the same page here. It's weird. A loss like this, on a main roster spot in the WWE, I feel like would impact him more negatively just because of the way that it's booked in general. And I think we kind of got used to that with Ciampa's start, stop type stuff. He'd get a push in DIY as a tag wrestler, and then it would stop. And then he would get a push, in singles action, maybe towards the US title, things like that. And then it would stop. And I don't feel like that's what this is. We have a lot of comments here that I want to run through before I ask you about this, Aunt You. Number one, you've got the use up here from Bobby Petito, no doubt. And we've also got that he liked the Tommaso Ciampa against Kyle Fletcher match. Yes, I'm in agreement on that. D6 Warlord with an interesting point here. He believes that Ciampa might dethrone Ricochet. I don't mind that as a follow-up matchup, but then Bobby also mentions that he can always have a rematch at Revolution. That's a possibility as well. I don't really mind either scenario. The the sheer amount of mid-card titles in AEW, at sometimes people have complained about it. I've always felt like it's actually beneficial. At sometimes more than others, certain ones feel more valuable than the other ones. It really depends on who's holding it, but I actually don't think it's caused as many problems as have been complained about. It's just an interesting one for me. I definitely think for Ciampa, this is not the end of the world. Losing an absolute back and forth banger on a Wednesday night, that's the best. Again, it's the best match he's had in 5 years. And we know he'll go bell to bell. Aunt You, I can't wait to hear what you have to say about this. I can't lie to you. I'm nervous to hear what you have to say, but talk to me.
Yeah. Okay. So look, let's be honest. The only time that Tommaso Ciampa has ever looked any good is when he's having a match against his tag team partner and Candice LeRae's husband and Johnny Gargano. That's the only time he looked good in WWE. I don't care when he had Goldie and he was doing his great stuff in NXT. His best matches were with Johnny Gargano. When he turned on Johnny Gargano, he was relevant. When he had the knee brace and he was beating Johnny Gargano, he was relevant. When he tagged with Johnny Gargano, he was just a simple mid-carder again. So when you take a small-time predator and you put him in a koi pond, of course he's going to look good. And that's what they did with Tommaso Ciampa when they moved him to AEW. It's not hate. It's true, right? They took Tommaso Ciampa, they put him over there, and they fed him to Mark Briscoe, and Mark Briscoe deserves so much better. Mark Briscoe has been a pillar in the wrestling community for so long. He's been a part of ECW. Him and his brother have been so great, and what they went through when they pulled them off TV, and then the passing of his brother, and then they put him back on TV, and then to have him take the title from Mark Briscoe, only to lose it to Kyle Fletcher in 11 days, is a slap in the face to both of them.
Okay, let's unpack this for a second, because Ant, you do make a very good point when it comes to the Mark Briscoe side of this. Now, my brain, when I watched the match last night, was this is how we get back to the Briscoe-Fletcher rematch, because I think that they're really a match made in wrestling heaven. And so you sort of had to have a stopgap there. Now, a triple threat is also in the cards. And that's exactly where I was going to see. You got me early there, Ant. I was going to toss it back to you and be like, what do you think about a triple threat? And so I guess answer your own question.
But just to come back full circle in this, right? Because a lot of people see as what I'm saying is hate is, right? Let's make Tommaso Ciampa relevant. Let's get him away from the only good match he can put on is Johnny Gargano, and let's make him important. So you do this, you give him the title, you take it right back from him. You have him go through a little adversity. You have him lose to the Proto Star. You have him go through a great match. You have Mark Briscoe go through a great match with the Proto Star. Doesn't get it done. You have a buildup which Tommaso Ciampa hasn't been a part of a buildup, and I don't know how long.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, in a month's time, at what's the AEW pay-per-view coming up? Someone
Revolution.
Revolution. Thank you.
LA.
At Revolution, you have this build up, you have this 3-way match, and you have these 2 of them are bald-headed, but you have these 3 amazing athletes who are going to put on an incredible match, and you're going to forget all about Tommaso Ciampa was only good when he wrestled Johnny Gargano. And that's where I wanted to come full circle with that.
Yeah.
So you can take it as hate as you want, if you
No.
want, but it's the truth. And the truth hurts sometimes, guys, but we got to deal with it.
I follow where you're at too, and we have a bunch of comments I want to run through here. Like Fernando Zayas with the WWE shackles are off Ciampa. Yeah, I do think that's a bit extreme, Fernando, but I completely hear where you're coming from. I like Fletcher from Alex Duffy. Here's the most interesting thing about Kyle Fletcher to me. He might have the most valuable haircut in the history of wrestling, because I watched this guy team with Mark Davis, and he had a bleached blonde, slick back hair, and I couldn't figure out who he was or what he was. He shaved his head bald and became an absolute menace, like just an absolute superstar. And I can't wrap my head around just how good he was and how I missed the talent when he was teaming alongside Mark Davis, who I think is an amazing worker as well. But somehow he just like blended the way that whatever it was, it's the most valuable haircut ever. Like as soon as he shaved his head, it was like, wait, this guy, that's been him the whole time. It was like he became an adult in 1 minute. And it's wild to me that happened. We've got
Mark Briscoe wears the bandana. It always throws me off. All 3 of them are bald.
Yes. And then we've got DCX Boulevard here with talking about Ciampa. He worked a great match against Walter. Yeah, that's how long ago it was. The guy that retires everyone had a different name.
Too long, man.
That's how long it's been. He had a different. The guy that retired Cena and Styles and Goldberg had a different name the last time Ciampa had a great singles match on TV. I mean, it's unbelievable. Thank you, Bobby, for liking the video on YouTube. We appreciate that, of course. The cue ball crew. Yeah, I can't say anything, and I need a haircut myself. It looks even worse. I look like a I look like an underwater chia pet under this hat at some point. If I don't get a haircut right now, it's starting to get ugly for me.
When you think Tommaso Ciampa, you think Johnny Gargano, whether it's tag teaming together or just the hatred in the feuds they had. I don't think of, oh yeah, he did have a match with Walter.
Yeah. Well, also it feels almost too long ago to think of it, right?
Way
like
too long.
That's why I was like, when I saw the comment, I was like, that's a great shout. Like I forgot that happened, was great at the time. But you know, like there's sometimes absence makes the heart grow fonder. Sometimes absence long enough makes the heart forget, right? Like it's one of those deals. But let's keep it rolling to today's show, because we have a sweet matchup that's official. I really, really, really love this promo back and forth, because stylistically they're just totally different. And I don't want to compare them straight back to the Monday Night Raw promo between AJ and Becky Lynch. But AJ and Becky Lynch, from a pacing perspective on the microphone, is a unique matchup. They speak differently, especially with Becky's current character. And I saw a lot of that on Monday, where like, I don't know if it was a little oil and water-ish, if I'm using a metaphor there, right? You know, where it just felt like something was missing, like from a timing perspective. And I don't know that it's either's fault. I think that's sort of just the natural cadence in which they both communicate in via promos. I think that there's a similar thing when it comes to Omega and Swerve. Omega still has that New Japan, that borderline Japanese wrestling style, promo style, where he speaks slower than you would normally see on US soil. Swerve Strickland is going to give you cutting lines, one-liners, things like that, in a way that Kenny maybe isn't always used to. That's not necessarily Kenny's wheelhouse. And it's not necessarily Swerve's wheelhouse dealing with Kenny. I thought they navigated this beautifully last night. And I'm super stoked that they booked the match. It's wild to me that it's 1 week from yesterday. It's going to be February 18th in Sacramento on Dynamite. That's where we booked this is interesting. That's something I wasn't entirely sure about headed into this whole thing, but Mary, I'm going to start with you, and we'll ask you as well about this. But like, to me, this isn't just a Dynamite main event. I thought it was a borderline Revolution match. We'll see, though. Obviously, we're going to see it once before.
1000%. I thought right off the bat, this is going to main event or co-main event Revolution. So when I got the word that it was going to be next week, I was like, wait, what? Oh, okay, Tony Khan giving his free wrestling on TV. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. But as far as the promo back and forth between the two, it was interesting. It was fascinating to see someone like Swerve Strickland go up with someone as legendary as Kenny Omega. It really, I feel like it challenged him, but he executed it beautifully. He showed his heelish style that we kind of knew he was from when he started in AEW. And of course, we all love Kenny. We all love Kenny when he talks. It's just we can listen to him talk all night. So to have him kind of go up against someone as kind of hard-headed as Swerve, and then of course, you know, they want to beat the brakes off of each other. I saw it last week. We all saw it last week. It was security guards central, but next week should be an absolute banger. Absolute banger.
I think no doubt. I mean, look, we've got a ton of comments about this too. This is interesting. Bobby Petito's looking forward to the match between Swerve, no doubt about it. This promo from Big Men was fire, and then this one's interesting. Swerve versus Kenny is going to be match of the year. I'm calling it right now. I think so too.
Me too.
I think it's possible, but here's an early call. I don't think it's the match we're going to see next Wednesday. I think they are going to have the match of the year in the rematch.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a weird feeling about that. That's the way that I see it. And how would you go about this? Because honestly, almost anything Kenny's in these days is dream match-esque. Right? Like, we kind of thought we lost him health-wise. Swerve brought it up in the promo himself. You know, he really went after that one, right? This time you won't come back from the hospital. That was wild, right? And, we have the comment here, like, both guys crossed the line. And even Kevin added a great promo, fun brawl, hype for this match. Yes, no question. You gotta be. Yeah, like, in my eyes, I think it almost has to be shenanigans next Wednesday. You can't pay this off on a Wednesday night in Sacramento, or do they? I don't know. What's your prediction, Aunt You? That's why I'm asking you.
So I think that this match is going to be probably Kenny's. This is going to be Kenny's brutality match. I don't think this is going to be Kenny's match of the year. I think this is going to set up Kenny's match of the year. This is going to set up for the bros, the best friends, a good breakup of the best friends. I feel like with the way they crossed the line and the way they were going at each other, that Swerve doesn't know when to stop. And I feel like Swerve is going to go back to that old place. And this is how we get the returning Osprey to save Kenny. And then this sets up Osprey and Kenny to be match of the year.
Oh, I mean, that's one of those things, though, where even back to what I was saying, Kenny can have the match of the year with almost anybody on the roster.
Yeah.
I love this. We've got tons of comments here, too. And I want to shout out everybody in the comment section today. I really appreciate the positivity. It's been so fun because I enjoyed the show last night, and I think we all did. Old school versus new school. I love that. This is going to be awesome from Bobby Petito. This one was from Fernando. Kevin with, oh no, I see a time limit draw or double count out. Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
go Broadway. Why
Why
not?
not?
Swerve and Kenny are going to be the feud of the year from Sei. Yes, I love that. I think they're doing a 6-man elimination gauntlet for the AEW World Championship. Omega versus Swerve versus MJF versus Page versus King versus Andrade. Who would that hurt? I don't know. Bullet Club for life. Yes, absolutely. Too sweet. Hangman isn't Kenny's best friend. Ibushi is Kenny's best friend. That's probably true. It's close.
But that's not what I'm talking about, DCX Warlord. Remember how Swerve and Ospreay were taking on the Young Bucks and stuff before they both got hurt and had to leave. And they were best friends. They were best friends before they both got hurt. So they're better as enemies. They're better as enemies than they are as friends.
So speaking of the Young Bucks, though, let's talk about them. Let's talk about the Young Bucks because it was their hometown. This was a homecoming for the Young Bucks. But then we got to hear one of my favorite entrances in all of wrestling. Shots. Private Party is so back.
Yes.
Love seeing Private Party back. And man, did they put on one heck of a tag match with the Young Bucks. It finishes via the Tony Khan driver. Absolutely, from the Young Bucks. The Bucks in their hometown were going to pick up the win in my eyes pretty much from the beginning. I love them as number one contenders, but I'm super stoked to see Private Party back because I just think they're underrated. And I also think they put on a heck of a match here and can get right back into the title picture at any moment. This result was the definition of they didn't go over, but they're still over. And I want to get your thoughts because I'm excited for the Young Bucks. And I think the Young Bucks have needed a little bit more success after that downturn. They did a good job of making us miss when the Young Bucks were still good.
Yeah. So I don't care what people say about the Young Bucks didn't deserve to win it. The Young Bucks proved last night that they can keep up with anyone. And no matter how long they've been in the game, and they've been in the game for a hot minute, they can still go. And it was fun watching them. They pulled out the old rocker, the old rocker callback tights and everything. So it was fun to watch. That match, whew, man, if you had a pacemaker or if you have heart problems, that match you needed to slow it down to watch it because all those teams were just moving in 32 times speed. But no, like that was my match of the night, and we haven't even talked about the women's championship match yet. But that was my match of the night. That was super fun to watch. It gave everything that it needed to give, and yes, when shots came back in, I found myself getting excited, and you guys know, I'm starting to become a sicko, I guess, man, because like it's just. It was like, oh wow, I have not heard that in a while. I know who that is. This is great. So I love being a fan of wrestling. I don't care about companies anymore. I don't care about who's where. I love being a fan of wrestling. And last night, from bell to bell, from start to finish, Dynamite just reassured the fact that I am a fan of wrestling.
I hear you there, man, because sincerely, that's the wildest thing to me about AEW and the way that they operate. They really weathered a storm. I mean, when we started playing the comparison game, and when I say we, I mean us included here at WR on this very program, during Cody Rhodes finishing the story, man, did it look bleak. And the storm just kept getting weathered and weathered and weathered. They just hung around. That's what I think the brilliance is, the ability to just survive for AEW during times like that, because now they're on an upswing and it feels like that, right? You look at this Ciampa debut, we're talking about 2 title changes, one we're going to get to in the main event of tonight's or this afternoon's show, right? And the Rascals signing, the roster. I mean, getting Adam Copeland right after all the CM Punk drama which was arguably the lowest point when it comes to pure public perception, is a way bigger deal, whether you think his run's been successful or not. Than anyone realizes. This is a resilient company. There's and there's something about that I truly respect. Like when it comes to AEW in general, we've got a few comments I want to run through, and then I got to ask you one more question about this, Mary. No doubt about it. First and foremost, we got Bobby with, it was nice to see Private Party back in AEW, no doubt. How many moments do FTR versus the Young Bucks get?
All of them.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all.
Every single one.
Myron didn't need to get pinned. I would actually agree with that sentiment. Alex Duffy, in my country, you can't watch AEW live, but sometimes you can watch it a few days later on Channel 4. Oh, shoot. I'm sorry about that. That's no fun. I wish I could figure out a way to fix that one, because honestly, it's been really, really, really fun of late, no doubt about it.
Super kick.
But also, Mary,
Party.
let's talk about the Young Bucks, because listen, they're from the desert. You live in the desert. They're basically from closer to your hometown than any of ours. This rise from, they've lost their status as EVPs. They lost their mojo basically in the ring, right? Shout out to lost their mojo, or like the Emperor's New Groove. They lost their groove.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, they lost their groove.
The groove.
To see them return with this great of a performance against a team like Private Party, who I think has a huge space in the tag team title picture in the future. It's a big victory for them. This has got to be the big moment where they really overcome FTR and win the belts, right?
100,000, 100%. Are they actually going to? Probably not. We all know what this is going to be setting us up for, you guys. And that's going to be FTR and Adam Copeland and Christian Cage. When that happens, the roof's going to explode. But boy, oh boy, I love a good homecoming. The Young Bucks absolutely did what they do best, and that is kick some ass. And the Super Kick Party was fabulous. It was so nice to finally be introduced to the Private Party. All Elite Mary, I acknowledge you guys. You guys are phenomenal. I am a Private Party attendee for life. Congrats to the Young Bucks.
Absolutely, Mary. And I mean, listen, Private Party has been around for a long time. Matt Hardy did his best with that storyline when we had it, right? Private Party, even when they eventually rose to the occasion and were able to win the titles, it didn't even feel like the perfect time. It's funny, the AEW tag division is fascinating to me, and I think history, when it comes to that, is something that we're going to look back upon in an odd way. I mean, you had Proud and Powerful is probably the best tag team to never win a major world title in AEW, or like what? I mean, we can see Mike Santana's success right now, but that tag team was off the charts and in the inner circle. Then you also have Jurassic Express. Couldn't be more fun. You had Best Friends back in the day. You had SCU back in the day. You had Private Party back in the day. You had the Hardys at one point. You've always had the Bucks. Then you add FTR to the mix. Oh yeah, Edge and Christian's a possibility. Wait a minute, Darby and Sting too. And then hold on. While we're hot, let's talk about like how Swerve and Keith Lee got over when Keith Lee was healthy enough to wrestle. Oh yeah, and the Acclaimed. We haven't even gotten there yet. Because the Acclaimed was organic. Oh yeah, wait, and the amount of tag teams when it comes to AEW going through the guns. When do I stop? Right? When do I stop listing teams? It just right. There's a billion. There's a billion of them, and there's been a billion, and they break up, they reform. Right now, we just have Jungle Jack Perry, and it's not a boy and his dinosaur anymore. It's a man and his dinosaur. 100%. But like, the Bucks have always still been the centerpiece of this tag division, and they don't get enough credit because it's really easy to criticize them. The fact that they went and told us a story about losing their EVP status in an effort likely to shake that reputation to go on this run, whether it worked or not, I respect. I absolutely respect that.
And
Well, here's what I feel, Clark. I'm sorry, Mary. I did not mean to.
You're fine. I'm collecting my thoughts here. It was funny to see like the Kenny and Omega and Swerve
Lucha Bros.
Promo back and forth to kind of throw the EVP line at him, and then the Young Bucks win. It was just storytelling.
The odds of that was brilliant. I love that, Mary.
Brilliant,
Right.
Absolutely brilliant. I just had to throw that out there.
When the game's on the line, you put the ball in your quarterback's hands. You have to put the ball in your quarterback's hands.
Yeah.
And in the tag team division, the quarterback for the inception of AEW has been the Young Bucks. So we're all sitting here talking about it's got to be Cope and Christian versus FTR. But why does it have to be FTR? Why can't it be the Young Bucks versus Cope and Christian?
Well, and
I feel like
that's the better match.
That would sell. That would sell so hard.
Sell 1,000%.
And that's the better wrestling match. You're on to something there. Honestly, if we had more time, we could talk about this the rest of the day. But like I said before, we've got 2 title changes tonight. Last night, not tonight. I guess unless you're watching it on tape delay. In which case, yes, tonight. But last night, we had 2 title changes, including Thekla, who it's interesting to me. Thekla's debut, I adored. Thekla's performance in Blood and Guts, I adored. Slipping through the side of the cage. Are you kidding me? She stood out in a place that was difficult to stand out in. Chris Statlander deserves more credit than she'll ever get. We'll look back on this more fondly than we treated it while it happened, because Chris Statlander is awesome. And I do not want to deny that. And the match was great. But the right woman won. Thekla's appearance on Talk is Jericho.
Yeah.
The morning of the day she wins the title. Ooh. Ooh, talk about striking while the iron is hot. Mary, how much did you enjoy this victory? Because I adored it.
It's like I said in this very chair last week, and no discredit to Miss Chris Daddy Statlander. The right woman won last night. Good grief, Thekla. You could beat a woman all night, and we are just glued to the screen. I am beyond elated that she finally pulled off the big one. Again, it's like you said, Clark, Chris Statlander, we do not give her enough credit, and I feel like now it's going to be her redemption arc, her redemption story, start establishing her character to be the true cosmic killer. We didn't see enough of her because she got the belt, I feel, a little bit too fast, but that's not her fault. Now she's going to come back better than ever, stronger than ever, and if we get round 3, it's going to be with the actual true defined cosmic killer. Right now, we got a real good glimpse of her, and I'm glad we did. But at the end of the day, Thekla won. Oh,
yes, 100%. And I mean, we've got also love what they did with Thekla from Kevin. We've got Yup from Alex Duffy. We've got my only gripe was the post match. We didn't need to do a run in, give Thekla her moment as the new champ, and that is that's the one thing. And I was going to ask you about this one, Ant. Did that take away too much from it, or did you think it was all right? I'm curious.
No, because that strap match gave. Excuse me, let me compose myself for a minute. That strap match gave everything it to, and Thekla and Chris Statlander, and you know that the beauty of wrestling. Oh man, you know what? I'm gonna be a kid. I'm gonna put on my 8-year-old little kid thing, because when you see 5'1" Thekla standing next to Chris Statlander, it's like there's no way. Like how? Oh, she's gonna hurt her. And then you watch the match and you see everything that Thekla does, and you see her sit there and she's just whipping her with the strap, and then you see Stat put her in the corner, and it's I mean, they're just, the brutality was all over the place. And there's so many times where I feel like I don't want to harp on it, but there's so many times where I feel like WWE could deliver stuff to us like that, right?
Yeah.
You got Jordan Grace and you got Julia. You got Jordan Grace and you got Julia, who I know could deliver a match to us like that, but they won't do it. So I'll leave that over there. But thank you, Tony Khan, for giving us that, for giving us women who we can respect as warriors, because they're doing warrior activities inside of that 18 by 18 squared circle, and they are literally going out there and just beating each other like it sounds wrong. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be so hype about
But no, just
It does it.
it's they're going to war.
Going
to war.
Warriors.
And
over the biggest title there is.
To your point, because that was like
Exactly.
the last part of this equation when it comes to this match that I wanted to discuss, was the strap match aspect. And you made the comparison to WWE, so you set me up perfectly for this, Ant. Because look, strap match, dog collar match, all of those cowbell, whatever, let's be tied to each other matches in WWE are capture the flag. They touch four corners. And then they light up the ring posts. It's the kiddiest thing I've ever seen in my life. AEW has brought back what that means. Oh, no, you're attached. The point of the strap is you can't run away from me.
Right.
So it's going to be more violent by the nature of the booking of that particular stipulation. That's the point. The point of the match is more violence. It's not now you can dive out of the way and touch all the turnbuckles to win, capture the flag. And AEW got that right. And I'm not trying to do the comparison thing either, where it's like, and I get TVPG, maybe there's some certain things you can't do. But there are talents in WWE that could put on matches like this. And I mean, we've got a comment here that I agree with 100%. Kevin added, at the end of the day, all we will remember is the brutality and the title switch for sure. I kind of agree. It's one of those where, the run-in wasn't my favorite part at all.
Yeah.
I thought it was borderline unnecessary.
Yeah.
But I will say, from start to finish, last night's Dynamite was do not stop.
Solid.
It fit the show.
Yeah, I feel like Tony Khan is getting into the habit of, I need to make sure that I'm setting something up for everything. So like the run-in setup, the tag match that's going to happen. And he didn't need to do that.
Right.
He
It borderline
didn't need to do
felt
that
like
right there.
It borderline felt like one more thing.
Oh wait.
Right? That was the thought
There's
process. Like, wait a minute, one more. Hang on. We can sneak in one more thing. Right? And because I didn't, in the moment in itself, I was just like so focused on the way that the match ended and Thekla winning. I was kind of like, I had to rewind it. I had to rewatch the run-in portion. But I mean, I don't know if it gets paid off correctly. I'm okay with it. It did just take away from Tekla's standing tall moment. The one more thing that I'm going to add, though, is...
What do you think about this comment, though, Clark?
That's what's really interesting to me.
Oh yeah.
That was a great... to be honest, if you've seen some of my reels recently, I was tickled by that comment personally. I would love for that to be the case. That does nothing but positive things, at least in my favor, when it comes to that situation in particular. I mean, I thought Danielson carried Starks in that match, of course. you know my thoughts on Ricky Starks, but at the end of the day, yeah, I would love that. I mean, for me, it's funny. Fernando earlier said top 10 Dynamite of all time, and I think that's a strong statement. But I do believe every single time they go to Ontario, it's a really good show.
Yeah.
And that's something really interesting about AEW is
That crowd was loud.
when it comes to pure wrestling history, we talk about, territory days all the time and whatnot, right? Like to this day, some people call WWE New York. Like they're very clearly not just New York now. And they've always actually been based in Connecticut, but that's neither here nor there. But at the same time, AEW territories wise, Chicago,
Jackson.
Arthur Ashe Stadium, Ontario, LA for Revolution.
Memphis.
When they go yes, exactly.
Memphis.
When they go certain places, they sell out the building. And that's one of the most impressive things about the company in my eyes. That's something that I think you just can't take away from them. But with that will bring us to the end of the show. I appreciate everybody that tuned in. Atlanta, absolutely, Kevin. Thank you. Yes, 100%. Atlanta is scorching for AEW. Yes, it is a great shout. But with that is going to bring us to the end of the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't liked and subscribed and clicked all of the buttons, click them all. There's like what's the hype one? That helps us. Everything. Thank you so much. We appreciate you more than anything. On behalf of me, Aunt you, Mary, we'll be back same time, same place tomorrow. That's noon Pacific, 3:00 over on the East Coast, 8:00 in the UK, and of course 9 a.m. for my good friends in Hawaii. I hope you have a great rest of your Thursday. Tune in for more stuff here at WR, and we will talk to you soon. Peace. Whatever. Sorry, Ben. I gotta make fun of Ben every time.